36 Seconds is a series produced by Black Heart Association based on the fact that every 36 seconds someone dies from heart disease. This series aims to highlight the devastating effects heart disease and stroke have on the Black family. Listen in to these stories of love, loss, and survival.
Well, I picked her up from the airport and she was saying that she's been having chest problems. So later that night, took her to the hospital. They told her to stay. They ran tests. And then she called me back and said, I gotta have open heart surgery. And then that was it. I wasn't really thinking about, my mom about to have open heart surgery. She was calm. She told me not to worry, but me being her child, I'm a worry. I was stressing because during coronavirus, only one person can be up there, and I have a brother. So I know we had to take turns, but he couldn't be there on the surgery day because I have a niece and a nephew. So he had to watch his kids because, the online school. So he had to help them do their schoolwork, and I had to be there. So I'm pacing back and forth in the waiting room, just waiting until everything is over. I knew it was serious, but I knew God had her, so we prayed before she went down. I knew everything was gonna be okay, but I still was falling short on faith a little bit because I was still scared, crying and praying. Just making sure she gonna be okay, have a smooth recovery, everything go back to normal, and we don't have to go through this again. That's my go-to for anything. So me losing my mama, that would've lost me. He said that it's gonna take a minute. It's only certain things she can do. It's a weight requirement on lifting things. He said it was probably gonna take like a year to get back to normal. It taught me not to take life for granted. Anything can happen at any moment. And make sure you're healthy at all times. Call my mom. Well, me and my brother go do without her if something were to happen. Like how we go get back to normal if anything didn't fall through correctly. Because I seen people lose parents and it's taken them years to get back to normal, and I wouldn't even say that they're back to normal. Everybody grieve differently. So, and knowing me and my brother, how we react to things, I just knew it wasn't gonna be normal again. She got a testimony. So her giving her story can help others be aware of the condition and to let people know that you need to take this serious. If you have chest pains, go get it checked out because it can be anything.
A God-fearing woman, wonderful mother to my children, I would say so. Hardworking, very hardworking. A lover of people for the most part. I genuinely love people. And so I was a general manager, actually the first woman to ever become a general manager of the state of Kansas. So I had 2 dealerships there, and had 250 employees. So that's where I spend most of my time. I'm just a person that loves to be in a position to help other people any way that I can. That's who I am. That's who I was, and that's who I still am. I moved to Kansas in 2017, July 2017. The first week I was there, I started having unexplained jaw pain. My jaw it was like something was squeezing my jaw. And so I went to the dentist to, see if it was something dental. They took x-rays and nothing came back that I had anything that would cause me to have jaw pain. And so at that time, my doctor told me that I probably had what they call TMJ, where you grit your teeth at night. The pain would come and go. It might come and then it won't be a month or so and it would come back. And so because it kept coming back, my doctor sent me to a cardiologist because she said that women have different symptoms than men. I went to a cardiologist. He scheduled me for a stress test. That was in July of 2017. Took a stress test and the stress test came back negative. About a month later, I started having pain in the middle of my back. And I called my cardiologist and he told me that he needed me to come in so he can do some more extensive tests. At that time, he did what they call a nuclear stress test. That's where they put the dye in your arm and they put you up on the CT scan and take pictures of your heart. And then they put you on the stress test, see how your heart functions while you're exercising. And then they put you back under the CT scan to see how it is at resting. Well, that test came back negative as well. And so he told me that my heart was fine. After that, I didn't have any symptoms until March of 2020. I had just flown back from Pennsylvania and I started feeling sick. And so at that time, COVID-19 was on the rise. And so I thought maybe I had COVID-19 because for a week straight, I was having this unusual feeling in my chest. It wasn't how they say the elephant on the chest, sitting on the chest or shortness of breath. I just had this funny feeling and I was sick for a whole week. That went on for about I went to the doctor and they didn't find anything. That went on for about a week and then I felt fine. That was in March. In June, I flew to Des Moines, Iowa, because we had dealerships there. I had to go and train down there. And I got there on June 17, 2020. That was on a Tuesday. That Saturday, I went into work, was feeling great. After we had eaten, about an hour later, I had this bad pain in my stomach, and I thought maybe I had food poison. I went to the bathroom, and then I just broke out in a real bad sweat. And so I walked back up to the front where everybody was because I thought, hey, I don't want anything to happen to me and nobody knows that I'm back here. I went and sat down and asked, did they have something for stomach pain? They said they were going to go in and get something for me. I sat at the desk and I laid my head down. I was sweating and that's all I remember. And when I came to, they said, you passed out, that they looked and I was falling over. So by that time, 5 minutes later, the ambulance came in. They had called the ambulance because they didn't know what was going on. Mind you, I've never been diagnosed with any heart problems. So no one knew to check for heart problems. Went to the ER, the ambulance took me to the ER, and they said that I sound like I had food poison because my stomach was in a bad pain. That was in June. I stayed there into September. September the 1st, I was flying back to Texas from Des Moines, Iowa. I woke up that morning and I wasn't feeling well, but I knew I had to catch an early morning flight. So went to the airport as usual, got on the airplane. Once we got in the air, I started having that feeling again in my chest. The flight is like 1 hour and 20 minutes. So when we touched down, my daughter was there to pick me up. I felt a little bit better then, and we had to run some errands because I had been gone for almost 2.5 months. Around 5 o'clock, it started getting worse. And I told my daughter, I said, something's going on. I need you to take me to the ER. Well, when I got to the ER, they checked me out. They did an x-ray. They did EKG. They did blood work. All that came back normal. So they said, well, it's not your heart. And that was on a Tuesday. By Thursday, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, coming into Friday morning. I was waking out of my sleep because I had a bad pain in my back. So it scared me. So I went and woke up my son, and he called 911, where they came to the house. And they asked me, had I ever had that type of pain before? And I told them no. They said, well, we need to take you to the emergency room to get you checked out, because with women, there's different symptoms than men. So they took me again. They did the same test. They did an EKG. They did blood work. They did X-ray. And all that came back negative. And they said, well, it's not your heart, because everything is coming back negative. That Sunday I woke up and I knew something was really wrong with me. I told my daughter, I said, take me to the ER, because something is wrong with me. When I walked in the hospital and told them, they looked in the computer and said, well, you were just here. So they did an EKG, they did a X-ray again, and then they did blood work. Well, my blood work came back elevated. My heart enzymes were elevated, and they told me that we're going to have to keep you because something is going on with your heart. So at that time, they kept me the next day. The cardiologist did what they call a heart catheter, where they go in your main artery. And that's when they found that I had what they call an anomaly, irregular heart valve. When they sent me back the second time, and then I woke up that Sunday, I knew that something was going on. I knew the other days, even though they sent me home. But by that third time, I was feeling just like I wasn't going to make it. I knew at that point something was urgently wrong with me. And when they found that, the doctor came in and he told me that my persistency saved my life. I would say, know your body. As I told the doctor, I'm not a physician, but I've walked in this body 52 years. Listen to what your body say. Don't go, the doctors miss it, they're human. Doctor had to come back and apologize to me that they were missing it. But I knew something was wrong because, again, I know my body. So I would say, get a second opinion, go back, be persistent, because I believe because I was so persistent that they knew that I wanted answers. And I told them, somebody has to tell me something. Something is going wrong. Something is definitely wrong with me. I shouldn't be feeling this way. So again, I would say, know your body. Your body talks to you. And so listen to your body. Get a second opinion. Don't just let them send you home, because many people have died believing what somebody else told them and not following what their body was telling them. I often think about it. It's very scary. I always go back to that moment, the what if. What if I hadn't got up? What if I would have listened to what they said? Would I have died in my sleep? I mean, so many thoughts and so many things come to my mind every day. Every day I listen to people dying of what I had. The doctor told me it's the #1 killer for athletes. I began to study what it was. Why does it happen? The lifespan is 18 years. And so God spared my life, his sovereignty spared my life. And I believe that this is the reason why, so that I could to tell my story to somebody else. If we can just save one life, then we've done what we were supposed to do. I often say, because I was in the medical field in the 90s, the only thing they don't check is the heart. The only way you get your heart checked is that you have to go in and having chest pains or something to do with the heart. Other than that, they don't check the heart. I believe that there should be, just like you go for a checkup for everything else, you should go for a checkup for the heart. That's what I believe. It's very, very, I almost went into a depression. If I didn't know God the way that I know him, I probably would have went into depression. I was almost there, and I remember the day after my surgery, and I went to the bathroom, and there was a mirror there. And I wanted to look at the scar so bad, but that mental side of me didn't want to see the scar, because all I could think about was, Lord, you told me I was going to be married, and I got this scar. And so it was very, very, it was tough in the beginning. I couldn't do nothing. The normal things I was once doing, I couldn't do for almost 2 months. And so having to have my daughter take care of me, my sister changing my incisions, cleaning me, I couldn't do hardly of anything. So it was kind of it was depressing. In the beginning, it was real tough for me because of the scar. But then I started thinking about it. That scar is a sign that I won the battle. And so that's how I don't cover the scar up. Because at first I was like, I can't wear nothing that's going to show the scar, because anybody know me, I like to dress. And so I started thinking about that. And then once I got in my mind that, that's a sign that I won a battle. And so I call mine my battle scar. And I wear it proud. Because when people see that, I went somewhere not too long ago and I had a shirt on like I did, and you could see it, and the first thing they say, oh, you had open heart surgery? And I said, yeah. And it just sparked a conversation for me to tell them, hey, make sure you get checked. Make sure if you have any problems, you go see a doctor. And so now it's just a talking point for me. It's my battle scar. I've never, I took 1 pill, and now I take 5 pills a day. Because, when you have open heart surgery, you have to take blood thinners, you have to take certain things that stop you from clotting. And so I follow my regimen every day. I'm a soda drinker. And so just the other day, I told my daughter, I got to stop drinking so much soda, because a lot of things can trigger heart. I mean, even soda, caffeine makes the heart do things that we didn't know. I've started studying like nobody's business. And so I can tell people what to do, what not to do, what to look for, and all that. Because anytime you go through something, I believe is so that you can help somebody else. My life it's changed forever. I went through that because I ain't always lived perfect. I was doing some things I shouldn't have done, and I could have died in the midst of it, because with what I had, you born with it. And so I think about those things daily. God, why did you choose me to live? And I just have to be real. Before I got saved in hotels, doing stuff, I think about that. I could have been dead in the middle of sin, but God spared my life, his sovereignty. I've asked him, what was it about me that you chose to live when so many other people passed on? And so it has changed my life forever.